So how you doing? Hey, today I decided to pull down the Pro Mac 610. You see, I've been testing this saw for a little while now, and I was never quite happy with the performance level. And over time, I seem to be losing power, just slowly over time, and eventually got to a point where it was getting rough to start and just really low on power and everything. So today I decided to pull it apart and see if I could figure out what's going on. And I figured out the problem. So it's something I'm going to have to address whenever I put it back together. But I decided I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little more work, a little more porting work or whatever, see if I can do anything to get the torque up. Now, I haven't decided what exactly I'm going to do, so I'm going to think about this for a little bit until I do decide. I don't want to do anything, on a guess right now. It's at that point where I want to be careful with what I do. You know what I mean? But let me show you the issue I found. And it seems to be a problem I'm having with all these vintage saws, especially after they're ported. Let me explain. Alright, so here's the Pro Mac 610 all disassembled. And let me show you what I found. You'll see it right here on this little guy. She was eating sawdust. Pretty healthy amount too. And it caused me to lose compression, which caused me to lose power. I did do a compression test and it wasn't even hitting 100 pound, which would explain why it was starting to get rough to start and, all that fun stuff. So, it's one of those things. It happens. But I've been having this trouble with a lot of these vintage saws, especially after they're ported. Let me kind of dive into this a little bit and tell you what I'm finding. All right, so what I'm finding here on these old saws is an issue with air filters. You see, these air filters were designed to move a certain, to be able to move a certain volume of air. And I'm finding that as I increase the amount of flow that it needs to draw, the air filter is sucking more through the seams, the edges, and causing you to eat sawdust. Oh, look, got a shirt today. But anyway, I'm finding this in all these vintage saws whenever I get them ported up, that the air filters seem to be having an issue. They want to suck sawdust. It'll suck it through any seam, anywhere, you know what I mean? Anywhere except where you want it to. So I'm thinking about doing some mods here to address that to this saw. On a more extreme case, I'd be putting a filter, like a whole different setup, like almost like a pod filter that sits on top of the carb. Might end up having to go that route, but we'll see. But I am finding this issue to be kind of common on all these vintage saws, especially after they're ported. As far as this Pro Mac, the piston does have some scratches on it. The rings have some scratches on it. So I know I could salvage the piston. I mean, it's not shot, but it does have scratches on it. But the rings, I think I should replace the rings. Otherwise, I won't be able to get compression back. Not the way I should. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to go ahead and get some new rings. And I don't know what else I might do, because I wanted more performance than I had. So, I'm going to think about this for a little bit. I did some video on the port work before, so if you're curious to see what that port work is, you can go back and look at those videos. I believe this saw is, I have a playlist for this saw. I actually have playlists for a lot of my builds, so you can go through the playlist and see what I did to this saw. But yeah, I thought I'd give you a little update here, what's going on with this Pro Mac 610, and I think I'm going to go ahead and locate a new set of rings before I get this put back together. But I want to do a little more port work, try to get a little more torque out of it. You know what I mean? More torque will give me more power, and that's one of the things that I want to address here. Otherwise, I don't know, I'm just not happy with the way it ran. You know, even right after I got it running and everything, when it was at its peak performance, it still wasn't quite torquey enough for my likings. So I'm going to do something, I just don't know what yet, to help bring that torque up. So a little update on the Pro Mac 610 and where it's sitting. And, you know, we got some sawdust issues. This isn't the first time this has happened, but it's something I'm going to look at closer into the future on all my builds, because this is starting to become more of a routine issue. You know, if it happens once here and there, it's one thing, but if it starts becoming a routine issue, then I think I'm going to have to look at, you know, possibly doing some mods to help this air filter situation. You know, I know this saw could probably use a new air filter. I might have one here. I don't know. I'll take a look around. So I might just replace the air filter, go with a brand new one, and see what happens. But we'll see. Catch you on the next one. Later.